Guys, welcome back to Shawnee RC, and this is the painting series. I'm really impressed with that. Would you pay for it? Well, I don't know, maybe 20 bucks. Would you have this on your RC car? I think you probably would. If you painted it yourself, I think you'd put that on your car. So let's go through a couple of very quick disclaimers before we get into the how-to. I'm not a professional body painter. I'm nowhere near the guys that do this day in, day out. I'm on a journey, like many of you guys. And if you've just started painting, that's who I'm hoping to help. If you're thinking about starting, you're the guys I'm really hoping to help. I will make the mistakes that you don't have to, and everything that I've learned in each video, I'll show you. If they help me, they'll help you. So here's just a couple of quick tips which you're going to go through, but just a couple of points. And then we're going to get right into it. Keep it simple. This body shell hasn't got many fades, any intricate details, the kind of stuff that means you mess bodies up. Whilst you're getting used to the airbrush and the paints, because half of the battle when you're painting airbrushes is not having the right settings on the airbrush or a clogged nozzle. It can totally ruin a body shell. So just don't do anything too complex. Keep your lines simple, learn how to cut, learn how to control the airbrush, and then just introduce certain things, new elements as you get further down the journey. This is super simple. We're gonna get right into it right now. As you've just seen in the introduction, this is the style that we want. We want to transfer this onto the larger 8 scale. Drawing and marking the shell, we're gonna need the body shell, microfiber cloth, isopropyl alcohol. Now, the reason why I use this and the cloth is if you make an error with the drawing side with the Sharpie, this will take off the Sharpie with ease and it won't melt the protective coating on the top of the body shell. So definitely get yourself some of this, guys, and a cloth as part of your drawing bundle. So we're going to start off as we do in any shell, and we're going to mark all the windows. Because we've used the liquid mask, we don't have to use the window masks provided with the shell, because we can cut them ourselves. Next up, we're going to do this front yellow part. One of the key necessities when it comes to drawing your design onto your body shell. I use a header card. So this acts as kind of like a ruler, but it's semi-flexible as well. So when you're getting your lines, you can get nice straight lines. And you can also mark, so if a certain line is a certain size, you can just put a little line. So then when you're copying that over to the other side of the body shell, you can use it as a point of reference. I always find when it comes to drawing these out, you can have a design in your head, but then you kind of change it on the fly. So with this particular shell, it's got some quite nice kind of body lines. So some of these straight lines, I've just decided to go from that. So it might vary slightly from the shell that we're kind of copying as a gauge, but I think it's important to work with the lines that you've got. So what we need to do now is we need to mirror that onto the other side, and that's easily done because you can, as mentioned before with the header cards, simply get a gauge so you can see, spin that round to the other side. So that is the first front colour or section done. So you can see it's pretty good, mirrored up. good. It's mirrored up well. And that was just using the Sharpie, the header card, and on a couple of mistakes, the isopropyl alcohol. Okay, so there we have the initial outlines done. So this kind of design, it's not a symmetrical design. Obviously this is just going to be the first outline. You're going to see how I actually put the outlines on shortly. This is just an original marking as such. So it doesn't look like much at the moment, but hopefully it's going to turn out okay. I don't do a double pen mark. So if I wanted to do an outline, I don't do one pen line and then a second, and then that gives me an outline. What I'll actually do is I'll do one line, I'll cut it with the knife, and then once I've got my cut line, which I'll show you shortly, I will then do my second line with the knife, so I don't mark it twice. But making the initial cut lines. So there's lots of different blades out there, lots of different knives. I find particularly on these larger 8th scale bodies to just use a standard Stanley blade. You can apply just the right amount of force, and I tend to find a bigger blade, if you can get away with it, is far easier. So now we're just going to go over all of these single outlines with a single cut line, and then I'll show you the next step on how to get your outlines. Just with the right amount of force. Obviously you don't want to go through the body, you just want to go through the liquid mask. And when you think you've made all of the cut lines on the initial drawing, so we've done all the around the windows, all round, and we've done the front section and this back section, we're going to take our isopropyl, I can't say that word, we're going to take our cleaning liquid here, and then before all of our pen markings off, so now what we can do is from the inside, I can see an exact placement on where this cut line is. If I can create the second cut line perfectly, measuring it up against the actual cut line as opposed to a thick pen line. So if you can see, I've done a second cut and I've been able to keep it super consistent because I'm going by the exact cut from the first time round. Okay, so there we have our outlines cut on our single drawing line. So for this body we're going to use the Iwater Eclipse HP CS, which will be in the description below. I'll pop a link to this exact airbrush. In my opinion, it's kind of the best you can get. There are some other alternatives out there, but in this particular shell, this particular body, we're going to use this airbrush. Okay, that is all the black outline liquid mask removed, and that all the clear that you can see is shortly going to be black. I've made a change for this shell. I'm going to drop the pink. I'm going to do white instead. I might regret this, and these shells are like £30 each, but hear me out. Let's lose the pink for one time only. Let's go white, fluoro yellow, and of course the teal, because the teal is the brand, that's me. The pink, I love the pink, but let's go white. Yeah, let's go. So you've seen in all my painting videos, I use the Vallejo paints. I find that you need no thinner with these. Straight into the airbrush and apply. On with the black. definitely get yourself one of these airbrush pot holders. I'll put a link for that in the description. Lifesaver. It's a cleaner and a holder. Okay, so now we're starting to get serious. So we've done our black outline. So I've now removed what's going to be the teal section, or the aqua green section of this body shell, which is predominantly going to be this middle part here. So as you can see, as it goes over, so we're going to go for the teal, fluoro yellow at the front, teal into the white. I don't know if this is going to work out, but that's what we're going to do. So textures and patterns. This is what can make your body shell stand out from a standard kind of flat color into something that's that next step up. So we're going to do some kind of grills, some kind of shadings on the grill in various places, and you can see just how easy this is. You don't need to be perfect with a perfect shading. It just needs to be intermittent honeycomb where we want. So we might do some here, some there. We'll just kind of go with it. So we haven't cleaned out the airbrush, so we're still going to hit it with the black before the teal. Let's get started. So you'll see what this has achieved. Just random places, that honeycomb. So this is going to be before the teal goes down. So you can see it just adds a little bit of texture. Obviously this is entirely personal preference. This is just what I do. But once that colour gets behind it, it will really pop. Just random places. Nothing set, nothing kind of particular in terms of the pattern, just random places just to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of 3D. So what we're going to also do is we're going to add some paint flecks. I just find with the paint flecks it kind of simulates like a bit of a dirt look. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a paintbrush, so just a standard paintbrush, and we're going to dip that into our black and then just do a quick practice kind of flex, and then on our air to symbolize that speedy dirt application. Yeah, I like that. That looks quite good. I get lots of questions about which teal, green, blue I use. So I always use the Hobbyknox. It's the HN22080 Aqua Blue it's called, and it's the best colour ever created. So now we just need to do 2 coats to back where we've just added that texture there in this centre section. Alright, so that's the teal. It looks a little bit lighter in the lights, but it is it's not quite that light, but you'll see at the end just how good this looks. So what I've done, the specks and the kind of dirt speed lines. So next up we're going to do the fluoro yellow at the front. So it's going to go fluoro yellow into the teal into the white, and we're not going to do any of these kind of grills, but we are going to do a few specks. The Vallejo fluorescent yellow. Of course all of these colours will pop as soon as we've got the white finisher on, but yeah, let's go. So that is the fluoro yellow done. So obviously this will pop when the white is applied to the back as the kind of final coat. It's looking really good. I think it's looking really good. It's looking pretty clean. We won't know till we take the final film off. So all we've got to do now, I've removed the back section. So this is going to be white. I'm just going to put a few specks of black, again just to carry on the dirt tradition into the back area, and then we can fill this part in white, but whilst we're doing that we'll coat the entire body in white as the backing colour as well. Okay, the white is done, it is backed, it is time to take the film off. Now this is the bit which we're all scared of. Is it good, is it bad? Let's take the film off, which is the protective layer, and then we're going to go into a montage with some music, and we're going to have a look at what this looks like underneath. Okay. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with that. Doesn't quite show the pop in this light, but let's hit the montage.